Hey Doomer fam, it's March 9th. My name's Reagan, the Doom Wizard. This is Una, and for some reason she gets a little camera shy, like most cats, I guess. Anyways, about to go to the gun range for my roommate's 73-year-old birthday. Should be a good time. And I've just been learning more about myself, keeping up with the usual. I did a responding to polls, comments, and news video, but it didn't garner too many views or likes. And typically my rule of thumb is if it doesn't get 100 views by the time that I wake up the next morning, then I probably delete it. But I take pride in, producing work that appeals to people. So I'm not going to complain, all right? I'm so fortunate. I'm not paralyzed. I don't live in a third world country. But it just would be nice to get a little more appreciation, and your donations help to keep these programs going. I have a few programs running. So with the announcements out the way, I just wanted to do a quick climate update. Maybe I won't lose another subscriber from this because, yeah, trying to grow a Doomer channel, you got to keep your expectations realistic. Your subscriber count will go up 10, down 8, up 20, down 15. Like people unsubscribe and it's like, I don't know, what else do you want reporting on the truth about our future and situation? Not as in-depth as some other channels go. They get a little, lost in the details. But I try to sum it up and keep it fun. So if you're watching, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Makes me feel like I'm a little appreciated. Okay, that's all. China has stolen U.S. military secrets to create a formidable J-20 knockoff of America's F-22 Raptor. No surprise, we steal secrets off each other all the time. There was also a intelligence report yesterday, or was it Tuesday? Yeah, that climate change was one of the greatest threats next to China and Russia and so on. This is backed up by Secretary Janet Yellen, talking about warns losses tied to climate change could cascade through the financial system. This from CNBC. Secretary Janet Yellen on Tuesday warned that climate change could cause asset value losses through the country's financial system in the coming years. I'm saying in the next 5 years, things are going to go sideways, okay? And this is backed up. She says a delayed and disorderly transition to net zero economy can lead to shocks to the financial system as well. I want to give some social commentary at the end of this video, but even more frightening from a study, not sure where it's published, but reported here in NPR, potential consequences of climate change for the ocean food web. Okay, it's forcing animals and plants to move their habitats because it gets harder to survive in. And so what she's saying is they detected this Lauren Summer as a postdoc at the University of Texas Institute for Geophysics. He studies plankton. Okay, so they float around the ocean, and when they die, their tiny shells fall to the floor and become microfossils. We all know this. So what they're saying is that they move closer to the poles. About 2,000 miles, 8 million years ago, the plankton were closer towards the poles because it was when the oceans were warmer. All right, making sense? About 2,000 miles where they are from now. So that matters with climate change because we're heating up the oceans. And the question is, are they going to move back again 2,000 miles away from the equator? Well, why should you care? Well, they're base of the food chain. So tuna, billfish, krill, squid, those organisms provide sustenance and livelihood to the billions of people around the globe. Okay? It's going to mess up the whole food chain. All right, does that make sense? More in your face, a UN official, decarbonation might not happen fast enough to stop climate change. Surprise, individual action should be done more, okay? Can I keep this snarky? The world is not acting fast enough, according to a top official. Quote, if we don't solve the climate crisis, we'll have a massive destabilizing impact across the planet. Wow, surprise. He warns governments and companies claiming to clean up their act without actually doing it. Current policies put us on a 3 degree or 3.2 degrees Celsius pathway, which is completely unlivable. Even at 1.5, these countries will disappear. He says Marshall Islands, Palau, Samoa, Fiji, Barbados, Haiti, or Jamaica, or struggle is their struggle, and millions of people are going to move away from these places because they're flooded out. Not to mention the rate of sea level rise is double the global average, he said, so it's already affecting daily lives of New Yorkers. We also need the average American to take individual actions that are more absolute needed to live a more sustainable, climate-friendly life. Oh, is that so? All jokes in the end. Earlier this year, a new study published that oil giant ExxonMobil knew of the negative impact of burning in fossil fuels, but they didn't care. They've known for close to 5 decades, he says, and their actions in their core product was causing significant damage to the environment, and they continue to invest in misinformation on the urgency of the crisis, while simultaneously raking in hundreds of billions of dollars in profits. Folks in positions of power, institutions and positions of power are claiming to be climate leaders, but they are not actually climate leaders. That makes me extremely frustrated. That makes me angry. Yeah, imagine how all the other life forms on the planet feel. Okay, can I run through climate and economy real quick? Have you got a dose? Is this enough for you? Deadly Cyclone Freddy has become the Earth's longest living tropical storm now poised to hit Mozambique for second time. World record for tropical storm longevity enduring 31 days and counting. It's tracked more than 5,000 miles since its development between Western Australia and Indonesia, and even attained a strength of a Category 5 hurricane. It's only going to get hotter. Water crisis in Delhi, record heat in Central Asia. Heavy dust storm hit southern Mongolian province. China hits record high temperatures for early March. Drought-like conditions in several parts. I mean, this is just parts of Queensland have been issued more flood warnings as water levels continue to rise. Record warm nights in New South Wales, Australia. Hectic visions of fire burning through the states for New South Wales. Massive Australia wildfires increase in Antarctic ozone hole. Signs of El Nino appear on the coasts of Peru and Ecuador. I mean, this is just like horrific. February in Argentina had record hot spells, interrupted by brief but intense cold spells. Atmospheric river comes for California and warn it could get ugly. More rain, more snow, flooded out, landslides. Greenland temperatures surge up to 50 degrees above normal, setting records earlier this week. Okay, they revived a zombie virus. Will heat waves hit Europe this summer? Probably so. Antarctic sea ice extent is at its lowest. Hit another record low. All right. Abrupt and irreversible climate change. Okay. But Governor Jay Inslee of Washington State says failing to plan for climate change is planning to fail. He's saying more than 1 million new residents have arrived to Washington State over the last decade. I moved there early 2010s, but I moved away. And they need to do a better job of planning, adapting, and building more sustainability. Oh, is that so? Is that so? Short distance migration critical for climate change adaptation from Science Daily. Short distance migration, which accounts for the vast majority of the summary of movements around the world, is crucial for climate change adaptation. So people got to move short distances everywhere to adapt to this. Okay, because there's enough housing, affordable housing, and jobs to go around for everybody, considering the top 1% took $50 trillion from us over the past 50 years. Just horrifically appalling, all right? From Bloomberg, Green Zero, just for fun, climate change is the greatest threat to human progress. The Human Development Index is flashing red for the first time in 3 decades and adding to the urgency of reducing greenhouse gases. Well, let me tell you what I see when I go out in public. I see business as usual. I see a bunch of boomers sitting around at a bar drinking their guts out, just spending money drinking, completely clueless fucking morons. I see young women my age with men and women with newborns. I see drag shows at bars because that's, entertaining. Like right across the street from each other. Just disgraceful. We're not taking this climate emergency seriously. Look how many viewers are on the sum total of the climate channels. Maybe 10, maybe ballpark, like 8 to 10,000 people out of 8 billion people, much less of that has access to internet. And let's say in the developed world, maybe 2-3 billion people have access to internet, YouTube, at least. How many of them are gravitating towards information about their future or no, it's a fucking disgrace. It's a disgrace. At least I have my community here and my sanity and my cat. I'm doing well for the most part. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.